A covenant renewed, setting the stage for Deuteronomy 17, written by Morgan Freeman. Deuteronomy 17 finds its place within a pivotal moment in the biblical narrative, a moment that is both historical and deeply spiritual. The Israelites, after their exodus from Egypt, stand poised to enter the promised land, a land flowing with milk and honey, a land promised to their ancestors. Moses, their leader, addresses them with a mix of anticipation and warning, knowing the challenges that lie ahead and the importance of staying true to their covenant with God. He reiterates the covenant God made with them at Mount Sinai, a covenant that is not just a set of rules, but a divine promise and a guide for living a life of righteousness. This covenant, a sacred agreement, lays out the terms of their relationship with God, emphasizing mutual commitment and faithfulness. It promises blessings for obedience and consequences for disobedience, making it clear that their choices will shape their destiny. Deuteronomy, meaning second law, serves as a reminder and a restatement of this covenant, reinforcing the laws given earlier and adapting them for a new generation. It emphasizes the importance of remembering and upholding God's laws as they enter a new land, a land where they will face new challenges and temptations. These laws are not merely a set of rules, but a blueprint for a just and righteous society, a society that reflects God's holiness and justice. They encompass every aspect of life, from worship and sacrifice to social justice and governance, ensuring that every part of their lives is aligned with divine principles. Deuteronomy 17 in particular delves into the principles of justice and leadership, providing guidance on how to maintain integrity and fairness in their community. It addresses specific issues like dealing with idolatry and administering justice in difficult cases, ensuring that the community remains faithful and just. This chapter also outlines guidelines for appointing a king, emphasizing the importance of humility and adherence to God's law, reminding the Israelites that their leaders must be servants of the law, not above it. The context of Deuteronomy, with its emphasis on covenant and responsibility, is crucial for understanding the significance of chapter 17, as it sets the foundation for a society built on divine principles. It reminds us that true freedom comes not from the absence of rules, but from living in alignment with divine principles, principles that bring order, peace, and prosperity. These principles, rooted in justice, truth, and humility, are essential for the flourishing of individuals and societies alike, guiding them towards a life of harmony and fulfillment. Beyond ritual, the deeper meaning of unblemished sacrifice. Deuteronomy 17 begins by addressing the proper protocol for sacrifice. It strictly prohibits the offering of blemished animals to God. This seemingly specific instruction holds a deeper symbolic meaning. The unblemished animal represents wholeness, purity, and a complete dedication to God. This concept extends beyond the physical act of sacrifice. It speaks to the condition of our hearts when we approach God. Our worship, our actions, and our very lives should be an offering of our best selves, free from the blemishes of sin and hypocrisy. The unblemished sacrifice also foreshadows the ultimate sacrifice of Jesus Christ. He, the perfect and blameless Lamb of God, offered himself as atonement for the sins of humanity. His sacrifice, once and for all, fulfilled the requirements of the law and opened the way for us to approach God with confidence and gratitude. This principle of offering our best to God is a timeless one. It challenges us to examine our lives and strive for integrity in all that we do. Just as the Israelites were to offer unblemished sacrifices, we too are called to live lives of purity, dedication, and wholehearted devotion to God. Justice and truth, upholding righteousness in the land. These are not just lofty ideals, but foundational principles that have guided societies for millennia. Deuteronomy 17 then delves into the critical issue of idolatry, a grave sin in the eyes of God. Idolatry was more than just a religious misstep. It was a betrayal of the covenant between God and his people. Idolatry in the biblical context represents the worship of anything or anyone other than the one true God. This act of turning away from God was seen as a direct affront to his sovereignty and love. It is a turning away from the source of life and truth to pursue false gods and empty promises. These false gods could be anything that takes the place of God in one's heart, leading people astray. The text is clear. Idolatry is not to be tolerated within the community. The community was expected to uphold the sanctity of their relationship with God by rejecting all forms of idolatry. It is a cancer that can corrupt the very fabric of society, leading to injustice, oppression, and spiritual decay. When a society turns away from God, it loses its moral compass, resulting in widespread corruption. The punishment for such an act was severe, reflecting the seriousness of this offense against God and the covenant. This severity underscored the importance of maintaining purity and devotion within the community. Beyond the specific act of idolatry, this passage highlights the importance of upholding justice and truth within the community. Leaders were tasked with ensuring that justice was administered fairly and without partiality. It emphasizes the need for a legal system that is fair, impartial, and rooted in divine principles. Such a system would ensure that all members of the community were treated equitably. Justice in the biblical sense is not merely about punishment, but about restoration, righteousness, and ensuring that all people are treated with dignity and respect. It is about creating a community where everyone can thrive. The principles outlined in this section of Deuteronomy 17 have implications that extend far beyond ancient Israel. They offer timeless wisdom for building just and righteous societies. They serve as a timeless reminder of the dangers of idolatry in all its forms. In today's world, idolatry can take many forms, from materialism to the worship of power and status. They call us to be vigilant in guarding our hearts against false gods, and to stand firm in our commitment to truth, justice, and righteousness in our own time. Upholding these values is essential for the well-being of any society, both ancient and modern. Witnesses to truth safeguarding justice in capital cases. The pursuit of justice has always been a cornerstone of civilized societies, and nowhere is this more evident than in the handling of capital cases. Deuteronomy 17 continues by outlining the procedures for dealing with criminal accusations, particularly in cases involving capital punishment. These ancient texts provide a framework that emphasizes the importance of thorough and fair legal processes. The emphasis here is on ensuring fairness and preventing wrongful convictions. The ancient laws were designed to protect individuals from the devastating consequences of false accusations and to uphold the integrity of the judicial system. The text mandates that no one can be put to death based on the testimony of a single witness. This rule serves as a critical safeguard against the potential for error or malice in the judicial process. At least 2 or 3 witnesses are required to establish the validity of an accusation. This requirement ensures that the evidence is corroborated and that the decision to impose the ultimate penalty is not taken lightly. This requirement reflects a deep concern for justice and a recognition of the fallibility of human judgment. It acknowledges that even well-intentioned individuals can make mistakes, and that the stakes are too high to rely on a single perspective. It serves as a safeguard against false accusations, hasty judgments, and the potential for personal vendettas to corrupt the pursuit of justice. By requiring multiple witnesses, the system aims to minimize the risk of wrongful convictions and ensure that justice is truly served. The requirement of multiple witnesses highlights the weightiness of taking a human life. It underscores the gravity of the decision and the need for a careful and deliberate process. It underscores the sanctity of life and the need for extreme caution and certainty in matters of life and death. The ancient laws reflect a profound respect for human life, and a commitment to ensuring that the ultimate penalty is only imposed when absolutely necessary. This principle has resonated throughout history, influencing legal systems and ethical frameworks across cultures. The idea that justice must be carefully and fairly administered is a universal value that transcends time and place. This emphasis on due process and the need for multiple witnesses reflects a commitment to justice that is as relevant today as it was in ancient Israel. Modern legal systems continue to grapple with these same issues, striving to balance the need for justice with the protection of individual rights. It reminds us of the importance of careful investigation, fair trials, and the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. These principles are foundational to any just society and are essential for maintaining public trust in the legal system. These principles are essential for upholding the rule of law and protecting the rights of all individuals. By adhering to these ancient guidelines, we can continue to strive for a more just and equitable society, where the rights of every individual are respected and protected.